innocent while everyone else is blaming her. But is she the true victim in this case, or is there more to it? Listen up, because Tiffany is the talk of the town. She is not only the mayor of Dalton, but she is also in charge of Thornton Township. However, the FBI is now investigating her, claiming that she has been using town funds for shady purposes. Tiffany is not amenable to this, claiming that it is all lie and that someone is attempting to frame her. I'm going to give you the inside scoop on what's really happening, so let's take a closer look at Tiffany's world. You may have assumed that being mayor was her only job, but this woman has a side business that is making waves. Trust me, when you hear how much she's making, your jaw will drop. In addition to being the mayor of Dalton, Tiffany Henyard is also the supervisor of Thornton Township. That's right, two major positions for one driven woman, but the best part is that her dual role is creating more drama than the conclusion of your favorite reality show. Why are these two positions as Dalton's mayor so important? Tiffany is all about maintaining aesthetics and concentrating on the routine services that keep a town running well, like as repairing sidewalks and ensuring that trash is picked up. But that's only one aspect of the issue. Put on your supervisor's hat now, and all of a sudden, Tiffany is all about the people. She's out there providing resources to everyone who needs help with their power bill, acting like a superhero. Tiffany is unable to pay for a funeral. All of Tiffany's deals have a price tag, and the biggest one is that she's right there with her tiny checkbook, as if she's managing her own private charity with the town's funds. That's where things get a bit problematic. Tiffany makes almost $200,000 annually from these two professions combined, which is more than some Dalton residents make in 5 years, so it's understandable why people are ignoring her. But the drama doesn't end there. Let's go back a little before Tiffany was elected mayor in 2021, because some people are talking negatively about her being a super mayor. They claim that she has too much power, too many jobs, and not enough time to do all of them. Dalton was all about doing good things for the community. Festivals, parades, and the entire small town of Chang are all about Tiffany these days, and not everyone is happy about this new spotlight on her. People began criticizing Tiffany's leadership style fairly early on, calling her cunning, especially after she established her own breast cancer charity. Sure, it would be if it weren't funded by taxpayers, but that's right. There is undoubtedly more to the tale while Tiffany is out here doing double duty. But is there something wrong with Tiffany's charity concept of using other people's money? After all, money is needed for a charity to operate. Dalton has some severe financial problems. We're talking more than a $2 million deficit, y'all. That's a whole lot of zeros that just aren't adding up. So what's Tiffany got to say about all this? She's sticking to her guns, and she's saying that both her jobs are legit and necessary, but with all this heat coming her way, you got to wonder if she really is serving the people, or is she just serving herself? Now this information is new and definitely different than what we were hearing last week, because Tiffany's drama was just local gossip at the time. Now the feds are in town and they're digging up dirt to try to bury her career. But why is the FBI so interested in this small-town mayor? Turns out it's not just the locals giving Tiffany the side eye. The FBI's been sniffing around too, and they're not playing. They've been talking to folks left and right, trying to figure out if Tiffany's been dipping her hand in the cookie jar, if you know what I mean. But here's the tea. The feds are all over Tiffany's business affairs, asking questions about how she's been spending the town's money, and let me tell you, they're not just making friendly conversation. They've got their ears to the ground, listening to every whisper and rumor about your girl Tiffany. But Tiffany, well, she's ready for it. She said bring all the smoke, cuz she's not backing down. She's out here saying it's all a big misunderstanding. But what do y'all think? She's claiming she's innocent and that someone's trying to set her up. But y'all, the FBI doesn't just show up for nothing, and the fans aren't just asking questions. They've gone high-tech on Tiffany. They're using some fancy electronic surveillance to keep tabs on her spending. Sounds like something out of a spy movie, right? But this isn't a Hollywood script. This is real life, and Tiffany is the star of this drama. And it's not just about the money either. The FBI is looking into Tiffany's charity, her political fund, and even her own business. They're leaving no stone unturned, trying to figure out if there's more.
What's your security detail?
So we have about 45 officers in our village. My security is warranted due to the fact of threats and things of that nature, but what people are not stating is it's in our CBA. That's our collective bargaining agreement. That's our union contract. So it comes with a seat. That's what people are not saying. I didn't make this up. I didn't just create this and say, I want security.
How many officers is it?
How many officers is what?
On security detail.
I'm not gonna say how many due to the threats on my life. So,
But if it's in your CBA,
it is in my CBA. I'm not doing anything wrong. I even went to court due to the fact of people suing me saying I cannot have a security detail, and I won. The judge said I can't have a security detail because it's already in the CBA.
But y'all, is that really what you need some protection from? Or is there more to the story? It's not just Tiffany feel the heat. Either the FBI has been chatting with business owners and ex-employees, too. Some of them are saying Tiffany's been playing dirty, going after folks who don't support her with their wallets or their votes. Now, Tiffany claims in no sense, but her credit card statements tell a little bit of a different story. So how does a small-town mayor justify first-class flights and luxury hotels when her city's in the red? It looks like your girl Tiffany's been living it up. We got tea on her lavish lifestyle. So picture this: while Dalton's struggling with the $2 million deficit, Tiffany's out here living like a queen. We're talking fancy hotels, expensive dinners, and first-class flights. It's like she's on a never-ending vacation. But guess who's paying for it? The taxpayers. Now I might be thinking, maybe it's just a few perks here and there. I mean, she is the mayor, but she's not the president, y'all. And it's way more than that. We're talking thousands of dollars spent on hotel rooms and meals and charged to township credit cards. And it's not just a one-time thing. This has been going on for a while. But y'all, it gets even juicier. Tiffany's not just using these credit cards for official trips. No, it looks like she's been accused of using them for personal expenses too. It's like she's got an all-access pass to the town's wallet, and she's not afraid to use it. But let's talk about these billboards popping up all over town. You think they'd be promoting Dalton or some local events, right? No, they're all about Tiffany. Her face is plastered all over the town, and guess who's paying for it? Yeah, the taxpayers. And get this, it's not even legal. State says you can't use public funds to promote yourself like that, but Tiffany let them tell it. She doesn't even care.
they say, like for instance, City of New Orleans has a policy that city officials don't fly first class.
Okay.
Do you have that?
We do not.
Do you believe you should have a policy? Because again, the critics are that you're flying first class, that you're staying in four-season hotels, high-dollar hotels, having what they call extravagant dinners, and those are your critics. Are you as a city official, in order to make sure that you'll be on reproach, looking at establishing a city policy in terms of how money is spent when traveling?
This is the way I feel about it. People will talk about anybody because they're not doing the work. They only talk about the people that's at the top, the ones that are doing the work.
Has Tiffany forgotten that she should be serving the people, not herself? People in Dawson are struggling to make ends meet, and she's living like a celebrity with first-class flights, upscale hotels, fancy dinners, and billboards featuring her face everywhere. This is a far cry from the everyday reality of the people she's supposed to be representing. And what's really getting people talking isn't just about the money she's spending, but also about what she's not doing. Dalton has some serious issues that need to be resolved, but it appears that Tiffany is more focused on her own comfort and image. Y'all, I'm all for giving people the benefit of the doubt, but when you're wrong, and when you're right. We just need some more evidence to show if Tiffany is actually in the right, because some folks are saying that Tiffany's lost touch with reality. They're wondering how she can justify all this spending when the town's finances are in such a bad shape. It's like she's living in a different world where money is growing on trees, and there's just no such thing as a budget. But Tiffany is still not backing down and claiming her innocence. She's sticking to her guns, saying that everything she's done is above board. But the FBI sniffing around and all these allegations flying, you've got to wonder, will it prove that she's as innocent as she claims? Because people are starting to connect the dots between Tiffany's spending and Dalton's money troubles, and they're asking tough questions about where the town's money is really going. Is it being used to fix the roads and fund schools, or is it financing billboards and this jet-setting lifestyle? We got to be in the town to run the town, and it's not just about the money she's spending on herself. Remember that breast cancer charity that she had set up? Turns out that's using taxpayer money too. And it's got folks wondering, is Tiffany really trying to help people, or is she just trying to make herself look good now? Like I said, Tiffany's got her dukes up. She's fighting back, and she's got some explanations for all this mess. Ever heard of a May meeting 24/7's bodyguards? Well, Tiffany says you won't believe why Tiffany Henyard is hitting hard at all these accusations. She's saying she's innocent and that this whole thing is just one big setup. She's claiming that she's the victim in all this drama. Now, I've heard of the government framing people, but But let's hear her out. Let's talk about that security detail that's got everybody talking. Tiffany is claiming that it's not just for show, that her life is in danger, and that's pretty serious. But here's the thing. What kind of danger is she in? Or is this just another way for her to live the high life on taxpayer money? Speaking of spending, Tiffany has an explanation for that as well, saying that everything she has done is completely legitimate. But where are the receipts, the papers, and the documents that prove it's true? Tiffany is blaming the trustees, claiming that they are the real issue in her world, claiming that they are the ones obstructing her efforts to help the people. So who is telling the truth? She claims that everything is political, including the FBI investigation, the lawsuits, and the accusations, and that it's all part of a larger plot to remove her from office. Is she the object of a larger scheme, or is this just a way for the justice skills to avoid taking responsibility? Let's not forget about all those expensive trips and opulent hotels. Tiffany has a reason for that as well. When people began to criticize her first-class flights and five-star accommodations, she quickly defended herself by saying that it was a requirement of her job as mayor. Tiffany is currently facing numerous lawsuits from former employees, but guess what? She's saying those are just more attacks from. In Tiffany's perspective, these aren't her enemies. Rather, they are merely pawns in a larger scheme to bring her down. However, if you thought Tiffany was the only one in trouble, think again, as her ex-boyfriend Keith Freeman is now center staging all of this drama and has a lot to say about the bankruptcy fraud charges that are looming over him. Let's talk about Freeman, who chose to play ball with the FBI. Is he telling the truth or just part of it to protect his own reputation? Once Tiffany's go-to guy for everything, Keith Freeman is now acting like a canary to the FBI, and what he says could tear this case completely apart. Freeman has been accused of bankruptcy fraud, which is a very severe matter, but rather than remain silent, he has chosen to assist the authorities, and guess what? He is disclosing all of Tiffany's spending patterns. Freeman has been with Tiffany since she became M, and he was present at all of the lavish dinners and trips that were documented. So if he is speaking to the FBI, you can be sure that he has some stories to share. Additionally, Tiffany's attorneys are using Freeman as part of their defense strategy, claiming that Tiffany was new to the whole mayor thing and that she had to rely on Freeman to make all of the financial decisions. It seems as though they are attempting to portray Tiffany as the gullible newcomer who was taken advantage of by Keith Freeman. If Freeman is aware of the locations of all the financial skeletons, Tiffany could be in some serious trouble. But some folks are saying that Tiffany is trying to use Freeman as a scapegoat, throw him under the bus to save herself. But is that really going to work? I mean, Freeman was right there with Tiffany for all those big spinning decisions. If he starts telling the FBI everything he knows, Tiffany might not be able to play that innocent guard anymore. It'll definitely be his word against hers. Though, and that gives you a 50% chance if there's not a lot of evidence, but Freeman's saying it's not about all the money. He could shed light on how Tiffany's been running things in Dalton too. Was she really as hands-off as she claims, or did she know exactly what was going on with the town's finances? I'm sure she had to sign some documents. Well, some people are saying this whole thing is a part of a bigger political game, like maybe Freeman's being used as a pawn to bring Tiffany down, and some are saying it's just justice finally catching up to both of them. But either way, one thing's for sure and two things for certain: Keith Freeman's role in this drama is far from over. His cooperation with the FBI could be the key to unlocking the truth about what's really going on in Dalton. And for Tiffany, well, she might be realizing that her former right-hand man could end up being her biggest problem. Now let's talk about the elephant in the room, or should I say the missing millions of dollars. Well, Tiffany claims she's been raining cash on Dalton, but the town's wallet is looking drier than ever. So where is the money? Well, Tiffany Henyard has been bragging about bringing in some serious due for Dalton. We're talking big bucks here. We're talking $15 million to be exact. That's a whole lot of zeros to talk about. But is Tiffany really bringing in all this cash? And if she is, then why is Dalton still struggling? Let's break it down. Tiffany's out here saying that she's the moneymaker. She's the one bringing in home the bacon for the community. She's telling everyone who will listen that she's got the magic touch when it comes to getting funds. But it's not adding up. While Tiffany's talking about all this money she's bringing in, Dalton's got a $2 million deficit and the town's in the red. And not just a little bit, $2 million is still a lot of money. Even when you're in the town, we're talking about a hole so big you could drive a truck through it. So how does all this work? Tiffany says she is generating $15 million, but the town's bank account indicates a completely different picture of how that will work. Tiffany has an explanation for this, blaming the trustees once more for the mess. According to Tiffany, she is generating the money, but the trustees aren't covering the expenses. It's not just about the spending, though. Some people are beginning to seriously question where all the money Tiffany claims to be bringing in is actually going, whether it's actually helping the community, whether it's even being brought in, or whether it's just padding someone else's pocket. Some people are claiming that Tiffany is using her position to benefit herself more than the town, and they're looking at all these personal expenses charged to township credit cards, wondering if Tiffany has her priorities straight. Are they really looking out for Dalton, or is she prioritizing herself? Don't get me wrong. It seems nice to raise $15 million for your community, but what good is it if the funds aren't really helping the people they're meant to? I don't think Dalton's coffers are seeing the $15 million. Is it getting lost along the way? Is it even reaching the town, and why isn't it making a difference? Tiffany is living large and telling everyone she's doing a great job, while Dalton is still struggling with bills that aren't being paid and the deficit is growing. There is undoubtedly a problem in Dalton, and the FBI is investigating all of these financial inquiries. Pup and Tiffany have a lot of explaining to do. She may be claiming innocence and crying that there is a setup, but the numbers don't lie, and at the moment, they tell a different story than the one Tiffany is trying to sell. However, Tiffany is playing a different game while these federal agents are going through a ton of receipts. She's making pop culture references and cracking jokes like she's trying out for Saturday Night Live. I'm sure they have a skit coming for her, but is this just a smokescreen, or is Tiffany truly connecting with her people? It turns out that Tiffany has some tricks up her sleeve when it comes to winning over the public. She's not just sitting back and letting the rumors fly. She's out here connecting with the young people and doing it in a way that has everyone talking. You may be wondering, isn't this girl in trouble with the FBI? Why is she out here playing dress up? But here's the thing. Tiffany is taking it to a whole new level. She's trying to make politics humorous by wearing costumes to board meetings, and some people are calling it unprofessional. Tiffany is just laughing it off. While some people enjoy Tiffany's antics, others don't, claiming that all of this glitzy stuff is only drawing attention away from the actual concerns, such as the financial difficulties we've been discussing throughout the entire film. Tiffany has a response to that as well. She calls all of this criticism a smear campaign, and some people are buying it. There are a lot of people in Dalton who are still supporting Tiffany, attending meetings, and defending her on social media. I suppose those billboards gave her a devoted following because she has her own small fan club, but it's not all sunshine and rainbows for everyone who is rooting for her. There are also those who are calling for her to step down. The town is divided between #Team Tiffany and #Team FBI, so Tiffany is doubling down when it comes to this drama.
She wants to rebuild trust, but at the same time, she's not backing down from her flashy life.
She is generating $15 million, but the town's bank account indicates a completely different picture of how that will work. Tiffany has an explanation for this, blaming the trustees once more for the mess. According to Tiffany, she is generating the money, but the trustees aren't covering the expenses. It's not just about the spending, though. Some people are beginning to seriously question where all the money Tiffany claims to be bringing in is actually going, whether it's actually helping the community, whether it's even being brought in, or whether it's just padding someone else's pocket. Some people are claiming that Tiffany is using her position to benefit herself more than the town, and they're looking at all these personal expenses charged to township credit cards, wondering if Tiffany has her priorities straight. Are they really looking out for Dalton, or is she prioritizing herself? Don't get me wrong. It seems nice to raise $15 million for your community, but what good is it if the funds aren't really helping the people they're meant to? I don't think Dalton's coffers are seeing the $15 million. Is it getting lost along the way? Is it even reaching the town? And why isn't it making a difference? Tiffany is living large and telling everyone she's doing a great job, while Dalton is still struggling with bills that aren't being paid and the deficit is growing. There is undoubtedly a problem in Dalton, and the FBI is investigating all of these financial inquiries. Pup and Tiffany have a lot of explaining to do. She may be claiming innocence and crying that there is a setup, but the numbers don't lie, and at the moment, they tell a different story than the one Tiffany is trying to sell. However, Tiffany is playing a different game while these federal agents are going through a ton of receipts. She's making pop culture references and cracking jokes like she's trying out for Saturday Night Live. I'm sure they have a skid coming for her, but is this just a smokescreen, or is Tiffany truly connecting with her people? It turns out that Tiffany has some tricks up her sleeve when it comes to winning over the public. She's not just sitting back and letting the rumors fly. She's out here connecting with the young people and doing it in a way that has everyone talking. You may be wondering, isn't this girl in trouble with the FBI? Why is she out here playing dress up? But here's the thing, Tiffany is taking it to a whole new level. She's trying to make politics humorous by wearing costumes to board meetings, and some people are calling it unprofessional. Tiffany is just laughing it off. While some people enjoy Tiffany's antics, others don't, claiming that all of this glitzy stuff is only drawing attention away from the actual concerns, such as the financial difficulties we've been discussing throughout the entire film. Tiffany has a response to that as well. She calls all of this criticism a smear campaign, and some people are buying it. There are a lot of people in Dalton who are still supporting Tiffany, attending meetings and defending her on social media. I suppose those billboards gave her a devoted following because she has her own small fan club, but it's not all sunshine and rainbows for everyone who was rooting for her. There are also those who are calling for her to step down. The town is divided between #Team Tiffany and #Team FBI, so Tiffany is doubling down when it comes to this drama.